Hey everybody, Trey Small here. This is Digital Film Reel. Today I'm going to be talking about Peacemaker Season 1. Before I get into that, please like this video, subscribe for more, click that notification bell so that way you guys are notified every single time one of my videos goes up. Comment down below what you guys thought of Peacemaker, and let's just jump right into it. So starting out, I really liked this show. I think they did a really good job at developing characters, and propelling a decent story forward. Like I a lot of the times, like I've seen some kind of stories in superhero TV shows where I'm like, yeah, kind of falls flat. But in this, I think they actually did a really good job at, developing a coherent and interesting story for these characters. So following the events of the Suicide Squad, we are again with Peacemaker, who is tasked with yet again saving the world. And I thought he was funny in the Suicide Squad, but I was not a huge fan of his character because I just thought he was a lousy guy. I thought he was just not a kind of character I would like to relate to. And in this, he starts off that way again, where I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about this guy. But I honestly believe that they did a really good job at making him very likable and had him grow a lot since the Suicide Squad. He was that stereotypical, like, strong, dumb guy who didn't know boundaries and just kind of did whatever he wanted without any consequences. And in this show, we got to see why he is that way and how he grew up a little bit. We got to see a little bit of his family life and the struggles that he went through as a child and even into adulthood, with his father and all that kind of stuff. And I thought that humanized him a lot, and it really was a cool way to kind of convey, emotion towards this character and made you empathize with him a lot. It's kind of that stereotypical trope of, there's this bully and he's bullying people and kids and stuff, but then you go home and, his dad's bullying him. And it is essentially that story for him. But you get to see, the impact that it has on him growing up, and how he has become this man that he is today. And it makes a lot of sense, and it's a very tragic story, and it really makes you empathize with his character. You get to see a lot of development from his perspective and from other people's perspectives that looked at him in this show in the way that, they're like, this guy, very similar how I felt to him first seeing him in the Suicide Squad and at the beginning of this show. And then you got to see a really cool bond formed between him and this new team. And as he developed better as a person, where he became more empathetic to others, where he became more, almost more human. And I really appreciated that because you get to see a lot of growth there from his character, and I thought that was great. Speaking of the rest of the crew, the supporting cast in this were really, really good. A lot of them were written really well, and I think they were cast really well. The acting was really good, and I have zero complaints about the cast there. A lot of their characters did things that made sense for their characters. They were reacting to things in this show in certain situations that just made sense. We had precedent for their characters, and they followed through. There weren't any decisions that they made that were out of the blue or didn't make any sense. Everything seemed coherent and seemed to make sense, and I really thought they did a good job at fleshing everybody out and made you empathize with every single character. And I think that that's something that you don't see a lot in a lot of shows. It's normally really rare. There's normally quite a few characters that are just kind of tossed to the wayside, and you kind of just like, oh, that's just a character. They're just serving as a plot. They're just serving as somebody there to help drive the story forward. And a lot of this was, it was a story about a team of people that all had their own issues. And, it's got Peacemaker at the forefront, but it's really a show about a group of people really without any family, finding family within each other. And I thought that was really, really well done. I feel like this show, like it felt like a TV show, whereas a lot of big budget superhero stuff that we've been getting, say like from Marvel, or even some of the HBO Max live action superhero stuff like Doom Patrol and Titans, kind of have a bigger universe feel. Like Titans and Doom Patrol definitely feel lower quality than like WandaVision or Loki. But at the same time, Peacemaker just felt like it was in the real world. It felt like Peacemaker and Vigilante were the only two costumed people in the entire world, and they just looked crazy because everybody else just looks like normal people, and everything in this looked normal. Except for the times where they started adding in a lot of CGI. And a lot of the CGI in this, I have to say, did not look great. A lot of it looked out of place, and I think that's because a lot of this just looked like the normal world. So when you throw in CGI elements like that, I don't think it translated very well, and I don't think it ended up looking as good as it should have. So the overall plot of this show, I think, was really, really good. I think the villains had good motivation, and they were terrifying in a gross, weird way. But where I felt like the show was really kind of falling short in was some of the side plots, like certain things like what was going on with Peacemaker's father. I feel like a lot of that stuff happening on the side there, I don't know, I felt like it was kind of just there to push his story forward. And it did, and I think it did a good job at doing that, but at the same time, that storyline, I feel like, wasn't written very well. I didn't really care much for what was going on. I wanted to more see what Peacemaker's reaction to it was going to be, and I think he had a good reaction. I think they developed his story a bit there, and it really pushed him forward. So it served its purpose, but I feel like they could have made that storyline a little bit more interesting. But overall, this show, I think, was really, really well done, despite having a few things in it that I thought were not as interesting or didn't look as good. I think it more than made up for it in humor and entertainment, and then great character development. And I'm very excited to see where they take this in season 2. That's my review of Peacemaker Season 1. If you guys like this video, click that like button. Comment down below what you guys thought of the show. If there's anything else you guys want me to review or watch, anything like that, drop that down in the comments, and I'll go and do my best, and I will try and watch that. Subscribe. Make sure you click that notification bell so that way YouTube will notify you every single time one of my videos goes up. Share this to a friend. Share this to your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your next door neighbor, that random guy across the street. Send it to anybody. It's fine with me. Much appreciated if you guys end up doing that. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. You guys have a great day, and au revoir.